Yesterday, I was talking about David Goggins. Today, I want to talk about another famous person, Dana White, who is the head of the UFC. And I was watching an interview with him. And even though I like the UFC, I like MMA, mixed martial arts, I watch the fights. I've never had the greatest opinion of him. And obviously, I don't know him, but just kind of his persona, the way he appears on television. I had a particular opinion of him that he was kind of a thug, and just didn't have the most positive opinion of him, based on the very little that I know or have seen. I did respect and do respect his business acumen because he's obviously done a phenomenal job running that business. But I watched this interview and found myself thinking different thoughts about Dana than I had in the past, which was basically that he seems like a pretty interesting person that I would actually love to meet. It's not to say, I know, he has done certain things that in the past that I think aren't positive, but so have I. So I'm not, saying he's a perfect person or anything like that, but just found myself being really interested in him, respecting him, or at least the portrait of himself that he painted, which I know, on the one hand, most people want to paint a good portrait of themselves when they're being interviewed, but I think you can tell when it's fake. And, I feel like a lot of, basically, he came across as very genuine. I mean, I can be fooled, certainly, but bottom line is I just found myself having a much more positive opinion of him than I have in the past. And it just has me thinking about different people's personas. We see all these different people in the news and the press, and it's very easy to have opinions of them. People are famous, they're rich, they do certain things, or we're told they do certain things. And it's hard to really know what a person is about. I guess it's very easy to judge people, but we see these people in the news, but we don't really know them. I guess we tell ourselves we know them. And it's impossible to really know somebody unless you actually know them and spend time with them and see them in multiple situations and get a feel for who they really are. So, but I think the press definitely tries to paint people in different ways, and I know for myself, I'm opinionated, and I have certain thoughts about different people that I really know nothing about. And so I just kind of find it fascinating. Here's this person whom I've known about for a long time, had a particular opinion of. Then I watched, an interview, about an hour, 20-minute interview. And within an hour and 20 minutes, I essentially changed my opinion of the person, at least partially. Now, granted, that was, even though it's in only an hour and 20 minutes, that was the largest and most concentrated chunk of time that I've seen him speak and just seen him, period, in my life. Everything else was snippets. So I got a better feel for him and his energy than I have at any point before. But still, it's only an hour and 20 minutes. And yet, my opinion, completely changed or significantly changed. And I became a lot more interested in a person that up until then I was not very interested in. And I just wonder how many more people out there are like that. And one thing I definitely respect about him is his success, because he clearly just has committed himself entirely to being successful. He figured out what he wanted to do, and he never quit on it against pretty significant odds. It would have been really easy to quit a lot of times. And yeah, he did it the only way you can. He just committed every fiber of his being to being successful in the way that he's successful. He deserves every bit of it, and there's no other way that could have ended, right? Given the fact that he closed all the back doors, he burned all the boats. You know, there was no plan B. That's beautiful. I believe in that. I think that really is the only way to succeed. That's certainly the approach that I'm taking to my life. So hopefully I'm right. Yeah, I have a huge amount of respect for what he's accomplished in that realm.